Hey, everybody, welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am your host, Diana Collins, and I want to welcome you to today's episode. If this is the first time that you are joining us, thank you so much for taking the time out to be here, and I appreciate you taking that time. So, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And thank you, thank you, thank you for taking the time out to come back and listen to what it is that we have that we're talking about today. Because, it's a mishmash of just about any and everything. And I also want to say thank you to my WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV listeners and watchers that are out there in the world. And I just want to share that everyone is welcome in WUBI family. So if you are on this continent or another continent, WUBI is worldwide. So click on. So I want to say, hey, how's it been going? How was Christmas? How was Kwanzaa? How was Hanukkah? How were the holidays? Darn it! How are you doing on this new year? I know the new year actually begins like in spring, in the March. I had this whole conversation with someone about the new year, and this is not the true new year, but you know what? This is the way we grew up, and hell, this is what it's going to be. But just before we get into all that other good jazz, I want to talk really quick about what we have going on and where we are currently. How about that? So first and foremost, I want to share with you really quick the website. So I think someone asked me, did I have a website? Yes, I do have a website. And here is the website. It is www.thesoulfuleclectic.com. And you can definitely reach out. As you can see, we are part of the WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV family, which is new and it is worldwide. So you can watch and listen all around the world. You can also listen to the podcast here on the website as well. And we also have our sponsors, which I will introduce you to some of our sponsors as well on today's episode, and with every episode as well. You can subscribe to the page. We are on YouTube and also all those platform streaming podcast networks that are out there. We're on each and every one of them. So please, for those of you who may be writers that are out there, we have a blog as well. And we are always welcome to take writing material from everyone that's out there. Right now, I am the sole author of the blog. And so I would love to have other people chime in on the blog as well. So if you have pieces that you have written, even if it's spoken word and you want to share and get it out there, please do. I'm more than happy to help us as creatives get out there and get our material out there. So thank you for that. As I mentioned, WUBI Ubiquity Radio, you are going to find me on the radio with WUBI every Friday at 6 to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I will just share also that you can find us not only on the radio, but also on Roku TV. So just really quickly, you can find us on the web, World Wide Web, www.wubi.live. And this is what the website is. Right now, they're playing Good Times with Chic. If you're definitely one of those old souls that is into old school music, I know I am one of those people. I really appreciate WUBI Ubiquity Radio and the music that the DJs play because it is from all genres, and it also speaks to that old soul of mine where I just love to listen to the stuff that I grew up on. Not to say that the new stuff isn't good. That's not what I'm saying, but I just sometimes you just want a little comfort from what we know. So Fridays is our time from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. You will have the Soulful Eclectic podcast on WUBI Ubiquity Radio and on the screen on Roku TV. I will not be live most every week on WUBI Ubiquity TV. I do plan and will be live, and I will alert everyone on those live televised shows so that you are aware and you can chime in, right? And be a part of the conversation. Not that you're not a part of the conversation, because you're always a part of the conversation, but you can watch live also. So that is that. And we have our lovely sponsors that are great. I love our sponsors. They are always here to help and have conversations and also to share their product with us. So the first thing that I want to talk about is Divine Nubian Essentials. Divine Nubian Essentials is a skin and hair care line that is actually amazing. So you guys always wonder how I get my hair like this. It's Divine Nubian Essentials, and I am not exaggerating. I am not making it up. This is all that I use in my hair, on my skin. Please do your due diligence, of course, and do the research, but definitely, I would definitely partake in the product because it is what has been and continues to keep my hair and my skin looking and feeling amazing. Recently, I did burn my hand. I think I mentioned that, and I used my product, and you can't even tell that I had burned my hand. So definitely take that time and go through the website and look at the ingredients. They're all natural, holistic ingredients. We have stuff for men, some stuff for individuals who don't want other additives in their products as well. So definitely we have something for everybody, and our product is for everyone. I always say, if you have skin, you are in. There is nothing that is saying it's more for this group of people, Black and Brown community, or if it's for the people of non-color. If you have skin, take care of it. I'm a healthcare practitioner. That's what I do. Love the skin you're in. So let's do our part and take care of our skin. So that's what Divine Nubian Essentials is all about. And for our lovely students who are out there who are trying to make the grade, we have Collins Education Resource Management that is also part of the WUBI Ubiquity Radio family and also part of the Soulful Eclectic family. Collins Education Resource Management is there for not only the students, but also for the community. Their goal is to help close that healthcare gap that we see in healthcare and in education, and help those students who are slowly trying to make the grade and doing their best. So we're trying to increase the healthcare retention in education and academia with our students. So we are here to help you with some tutoring services, prep for your test, and also educate the community. I know there's a lot of entities that are out there that are trying to disassociate themselves with diversity, equity, inclusion. There have been some overturning of affirmative action and all these things. And I'm here to say, as human beings, we need to understand and have a conversation and know who is in our community and respect those of us that are in the community. So one of the things that I do is go out and talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion to businesses as well as community, to talk about being better to one another. And I also host workshops and other engagements for students as well. And there is a workshop that is coming up for students who are entering the healthcare field. Okay. Whew. That is a mouthful, but I needed to get that out there because, again, our students are suffering. And we're not seeing enough of ours at the bedside in the clinics, and unfortunately there still is a healthcare equity gap that is faced. And we can look at the infant mortality rate of those of us in the Black and Brown community and see that it is our moms and our children that are dying much at a higher rate than those of the persons of non-color. And it's all about education, and I'm all about educating everybody who wants to be educated, because we have a lot of uneducated, or you know what, I don't even want to say they're uneducated because I think we talked about this one time. I said, if you know better, you do better. But that is not exactly true because we have people out there that know better and choose not to do better and continue to share and raise hate. All right. So I don't want to say if you know better, you do better, because that is not entirely true. Because the people who know better are out here spreading hate and just dislike to one another. I mean, banning books and don't want to talk about, race. And it's just, come on. It is what it is. The whole country was built on the backs of immigrants. It was built off the backs of Black and brown people who were brought here against their will. It was built and stolen from indigenous. It is what it is. Okay. The sooner you own up to it, the better off you'll be. And we can all move on. Not saying that, it's because of, no, it is the very backbone of America. And not to say other civilizations were not built the same way. I'm not saying that. I can't take account for that. I'm taking account for where we are and who we are as a people. So that's what I'm speaking to. So um I got off on a tangent as I always do. But yes, so that I mean, because there's a point to where I was going with that, but I'm going to double back to that because I don't want to get too ahead of myself right now, because that is very easy to do, and I'm trying to stay on task on my notes that I have written here, so I can continue to speak what I needed to speak to on tonight's episode. Um, so yes, as I said, I got off on a tangent, but as I'm going to continue on, I am, as you guys, many of you who listen know, I've been working on my doctorate for some time, and it is, by the grace of God, coming to an end. Mm. Yes. So I am so grateful for that. And it's been a journey, and you guys have been along with me on part of that journey. So I appreciate you all hanging in there with the gaps and the pauses and all these things and the craziness that goes on in my life. But in the middle of all that, I just happened to read a very good book. I'm into fiction. I do read nonfiction, but as we just talked about life and the reality of where we are and who we are as Americans, I get enough nonfiction out there, just living my day to day life. So I found this great fiction author, Reggie Dupree, and I was just amazed at the writing in this book because she included everybody. Talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Her book included everyone in this book, and it was that mystical, is, excuse me, I don't want to say was, is that mystical book. And I appreciated it because I mean, the lead character, for lack of a better reference, was me, to be honest. And we never met until we taped our episode. But she is just a beautiful soul. And I just reached out to her and said, I just need to talk to you about this book because it's just amazing. It's fun, it's exciting, it gives you all the witchiness and the magical that sometimes our soul craves. I know mine does. I love being in the fantasy worlds and the mystical, the magic, the witch, the vampire, where all those things I am there for because it takes me out of this craziness that is our reality sometimes. And sometimes we do need to get out of our own head. Um, I know I do because being in my own head sometimes it can take a. I mean I know my mind goes a mile a minute. I mean you guys hear it when we talk, and I'm doing a podcast, and I'm like on five other different things because my mind is constantly racing, constantly going. It's that creative, right-sided brain of me. But I say that because Reggie Dupree, oh my gosh, I just she's my new bestie. And I told her that's like you are my new best friend because I just love your writing and I am putting it out in the atmosphere just as I told her. She is up for NAACP uh Writers Award. She doesn't know that yet, but I'm just telling her that because I feel it in my soul. She's gonna be there, and I'm manifesting it for her. And also I foresee that her book will be a movie. And by God, if it is a movie, I want to be Gwendolyn Carter. I'm saying it. I'm putting my bid in for Gwendolyn Carter. Please. I know you guys might look at for Gwen, y'all might look at actresses like, you know, Viola Davis, because she just did Woman King, and she's, she Viola Davis is bad, man. Oh my gosh. That woman, I read her book, Finding Me. Mm-mm. Yeah, she's something, but I want to do it. I do. I'm gonna beg and plead. I want to be Gwendolyn Carter. And I think for me, like I said, I swear, reading that book, it was talking about me, from aside from being a tattoo artist, because I'm not a tattoo artist. You guys know I'm a nurse practitioner and a nurse educator, for God's sakes. I'm not a tattoo artist. I used to draw, and I did lose that ability, and I'm trying to regain some of that. But yeah, so I am not a tattoo artist, but she is that whole, you know, spirit, that the soulful eclectic. She's just an eclectic soul, and she's out there living her best life, going across the world, meeting amazing people as she's tattooing her great art onto their bodies. And as she's talking about that, she's got her own set of tattoos. And you guys know I have my tattoos, and she has wings on her back, and now I have a set of wings on my back. So it's like I just embodied all of it. And I know, I'm sorry I'm getting so excited, but that book, I'm waiting for the third one to come out. So I'm going to show you guys what this book is, so that when her episode airs on February, I'm going to count 9th. I think it's the 9th. It's next Friday. When her episode airs next Friday, I just want y'all to be all caught up so that y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to show you her books right now so that you guys can see, because I think right now Amazon is giving away, well, it's for free. The first one, which is Hoodoo. Hoodoo Heaven is the first one right here. Okay, so this one, right? It's the first one. And first of all, I love the cover. It just speaks to my soul. I do want to own a ghost town one day in my life. Again, I'm manifesting that as well. But Hoodoo Heaven is the first one, right? And it's book 0, because there will be 5 books to this installment, and you guys will hear that when we talk about that. And Return to Hoodoo are already out, so you can go ahead and get those. Mystical Midlife Mate, that's the one I am waiting for. And I'm going to say impatiently, because it's coming in March. Now, I can buy it on Kindle should I desire to, but I don't. I want to listen to it the way I listened to the first 2 books. And I probably will end up buying the whole 3 series and then some, just so I can have it in my collection. But at this time, I want Mystical Midlife Mate is my next one. And if I can get a copy, then I will definitely purchase a copy. But again, Reggie did her thing, and I'm so happy that she is going to be a guest, and is a guest on the Soulful Eclectic, and part of the Soul Tribe. So I appreciate her for that. So yeah, so that is, I know I was all over the place, but that is, what we have, and then some coming up. But I was just so excited about the book, because I have not read a good book in a while. Like right now, I'm reading Stephen King's Holly, and which is really speaks to today's life that is happening. I don't condone it, but I can definitely see how it can happen in today's society. Holly is, man, the things those people are doing in that book, I can totally see happening in our society. So just be careful when you're walking and you're out in the community. Be alert. That's all I can say, because we have people being snatched up from all walks of life. I wish I could say they're pinpointing one group or over another. It's everyone. We have our indigenous families being uprooted and taken. We have those of us of color being taken. Everyone, if you are a human being, you're being taken. Okay. And I don't like to, send fear into everyone. I'm not one of those fear mongers, but it's just one of those things that you have to be hyper vigilant and aware of your surroundings and when you're out and about and when you're walking. So, and I say that even for myself because I get to the point where sometimes, oh my gosh, I forgot to text somebody and I'm walking and I'm texting and it's like, no, I need to pay attention to my surroundings. Um, and I do slack with that, especially when I'm with my husband because I'm with my husband, so he's supposed to have my back. But in all actuality, it's supposed to be like a 360. He's got my front, I got his back, and vice versa. So I need to be paying attention and be more alert when we are out and about and be present in the moment. And I am working on that. Again, I'm a work in progress, and I'm very honest to a fault with everyone that there's no one who is perfect out there. Every day is a challenge to be a better person, a better version of myself than I was the day before. Um, Most of you know my favorite saying is the master has failed more often than the student has tried. And to me, true failure is when you just refuse to get up and you succumb to that failure and you don't get up and pursue or change what it is that you do. That is true failure. Otherwise, failure is just all a part of success. And you guys been with me on this journey for 3 years. Some days I am on my A game, and some days is like, I didn't listen to that sound beforehand, and now I hear it, and holy crap, I put that out. What is wrong with me? And I'm kicking myself now to this day for something that was two years ago, and I'm listening to the sound, and I'm like, holy crap. So, and I'm in the middle of trying to fix that because guess what? Now that you guys are all getting caught up with the episodes, I still want you to hear that material. I still want you to get that content. So I'm going to fix that so that you can hear it properly in the best way that I can. A lot of things I can't fix because it is what it is, and that's okay. And I have to be okay with that. And so it's just those things, and and working to day life. We talk a lot about work-life balance, right? Work-life balance. What the hell is that? I don't even know what that looks like because from the time I lay my head down to the time I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, most days, like last night, I didn't even get, I think we went to bed early. So I fell asleep probably like 8 o'clock. I was asleep. I was up by midnight. I'm going to say 11:30 because I looked at my iPad. I was like, are you freaking kidding? Because I thought it was 3 a.m. Because if it was 3 a.m., I was just going to get up. Okay. Usually if I'm up at 3:30, I just get up because at that point it doesn't make sense for me to go back to sleep because let's face it, you guys know I get up at 5. So why the hell am I going to go back to sleep at 3:30? Not going to happen. It's going to take me till about 4:30 to get to sleep, for God's sake. Excuse me. So what am I going to do? Sleep for an hour? No, not going to do it. So I just get up and I looked at the clock and I was like, it's only midnight. What the hell? So which is fine because at last night, I guess neither one of us could sleep. My husband was tired, and to be honest, the reason why I couldn't sleep was because I felt a kind of way about something my husband done did. hmm I'm gonna be honest, I did. My husband, he worked. He worked, and I hate to say it because I work all day too, but he was out engaging with people. I engage with people on the phone at home. He was out in the community engaging with people. And so he went he and I know I'm airing my business all outside, but I think it helps. Okay. Y'all my therapy. Just suck it up, damn it. Um but yeah, so it was just something simple. Like he just looked at me like with this like look, like I'm like, hey, what the hell's wrong with you? Kind of thing. And it threw me off. It threw me off. And I think it disrupted my energy last night. So therefore it was like gone. And then my daughter had some things going on. And so I absorbed that and I didn't get to effectively cleanse all of that energy before going to bed. Therefore, it kept me up. It really did. It kept me up and that's it. Um And as I said, we talk about that work-life balance. It's rough when you're working full time and you're a creative and you're trying to do these things and you're navigating all these parts of life, and and it's like, oh my gosh, when do I come up for air? And then when you come up for air, you have to engage with your spouse and you have to be present, and be thoughtful. And so yesterday I did very well. I put my phone away and it was out of reach. It was actually charged up and charging up in my office. So I put it away and I said, I'm just going to be here. But it's just, you're still thinking, right? So I'm still kind of like going over my head, like, man, I could be doing this and I could be doing that. And so those things. And then you get a hiccup like that. It's like, really? I just like disrupting my day so I can be present. And this is the shit that I get. But again, you have to be able to communicate that effectively. So, because at that point I couldn't, I'm going to give you guys the tip that I learned. I walked outside because I, I like to stay married. Let's be honest. Okay. Even though we get on each other's nerves, we love each other, and we value each other. So therefore, we do our due diligence to give ourselves and each other that space so that we can collect ourselves and collectively come back and be the people that we are. Because honestly, it's not that we're not those people. It's just that we've had a long day in our respective corners, right? And then we get together. I'm expecting him to engage. He's tired. And then sometimes you have vice versa. He's home all day, and even though I'm home all day too, sometimes he's like, all right, he's expecting me to engage, and I've had like 5 phone calls, been on computer, doing it, and it's just like, whoa, I need a minute, kind of thing. So it's just learning to navigate and be at one with each other, and have those conversations. So as I said, guys, the state of the union meetings are very important, and I value those state of the union meetings that we have. It's scheduled on our calendar religiously. We missed one last week and we got to make up for it, but it's on our calendar every week. We are to meet at the kitchen table with our coffee, tea, water, whatever it is at hand, our notepad, and we are discussing the week's events, past and what's coming up, and just keep it going. Because I think that's a good way to start having those conversations and keeping that communication open. Because otherwise, you're going to be constantly fatigued. I mean, we've all been on that hamster wheel where we're going and going and going, and it's like, hey, I remember you. You're my husband. You're my wife. Yay. How you doing? Date night is on the calendar. Like this week's date night, we're going to watch a movie home. So yeah, so it's just those things that help keep us together, because otherwise we can really trip ourselves up. And I know me, I can listen. I'm from Brooklyn. I may not feel like I come from the hood, but I was born and raised on Bushwick Avenue, and baby, I can get down, and my mouth can be reckless. So I have to walk away. I have to stop myself. And sometimes I can go outside, and I can take a pillow with me and I scream into a pillow outside and say all the expletives and things that I want to say outside into that pillow. And then I come back in with my mind right and say, listen, we need to talk, because that's just the best way. Because we've gotten and again, I think I went on a tangent here just a little bit, but that's okay. I'm sorry. This is my show. This is what I do. So I think a lot of us, especially those of us who born in the inner city, raised in the inner city, those of us who have those toxic households that we come from, those of us who really did not get a good understanding of how to have meaningful relationships with our spouses or significant others, it can be toxic. Because we do have some triggers that we carry on from relationship to relationship, because we never actually stop to deal. And I'm grateful for therapy. because having therapy and going through therapy has given me the tools and the coping skills that I currently use to have effective communication with my now spouse. And also, I know how and I think I mentioned some of these reality shows. I'm not a big reality show fan. Not in a fan in the sense that I'm sitting here watching them and I can recite to you and have this huge dialogue. No, I am not that person. But there's one reality show that I did value, and that is Marriage Boot Camp. Yes, there was a lot of hectic rhetoric that went along with it, but if you take out all that noise, a lot of what those counselors, Dr. T, and even Judge Toller, I loved when she came on and she talked about what ends up in her who and what ends up in her courtroom, and those pearls of wisdom. They teach you how to fight fair. Um, and I think we're so used to seeing the unfair fighting that we think that is the way we fight, and it really isn't. Throwing daggers, you can't take those words back. Once you say it, once you've done an action, you can't take it back. So now you have to regroup from that and rebuild from that and be better from that. So those are the takeaways that I have taken from those types of shows, and also conversations with therapists. I mean, because even when we are in our good space, we still go to therapy. We still have our perspective therapy sessions. Um, because if sometimes it feels like, okay, I don't know why we're here today because we're actually pretty good. Did you need something? Are we in a good space? And so you have those conversations with yourself, and with your spouse is like, oh, I don't need you this week. All right, let's push it to a week or two or whatever. And sometimes you can have a month check-in, every other week check-in. It's totally up to you and what you need, but I always think it's so good to have a check-in point with the therapist to see where you are, especially when you're trying to have that work-life balance and you have a lot going on in your life. Like, and I'm going to be honest, like for me, I need to check in because I haven't checked in with her in a few months, and I'm like, I think I need to check in, especially with things going back to I don't want to say our normal rat race, but it is going back to our normal rat race. Like, I'm finishing my doctorate and I soon will be going back to the outside work full time. And then, I got all my creative things that I'm doing, the acting, the podcast, my two businesses. And then also he's going to work full time. And, that's also takes a toll because for those of you who are retired, being retired and going out to work full time, that's not your bag because you had a life of leisure. And now it's like, what? I gotta go to work. Really? So yeah, so it's just those things that happen. So it's just, um, kind of check in. There's nothing wrong with therapy. It really isn't. I think for those of us in the Black and Brown community, it has been one of those things that, again, like we said, we talked about this, right? And if what happens in our house stays in our house, because Lord knows how many times I'm sure many of us have gotten into some trouble for talking about stuff that happened in the house, and it gets back to your mama and your daddy, and it's like, didn't I tell you? Don't you open your mouth about what happens up in here, right? So that part, right? We have to change that. Find a safe space to have those conversations. Now, I'm not saying go have those conversations with everybody because I get the strangest conversations in the street, and I appreciate it because I know sometimes somebody needs to let it out, and I just so happen to be that person there. But sometimes everything is not for everybody's ears. Just saying. So you have to find that safe space and know when and who you can talk to. Um, and that just goes because you do have people out there that will and have judged you. I can attest to that because I thought I was sharing with people that were good people, and guess what? They weren't so good people. Um, but again, you live and learn. So now I live in that space where I say things, and if just so happens somebody spills it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I said it. That's how I felt at the moment. My bad. Things changed. But it's one of those accountability things, right? Be accountable for who you are and what you do. And as hard as it is to be accountable, I try to make sure that as far part of my integrity, I stay accountable to the things that I do and say, and do my best to keep on top of that. And sometimes it does get hard, and you just do what you got to do, and you put your best foot forward, and you make it work. But anyways, I digress. So the other things I wanted to mention, yeah, I was talking about all the other things that we're doing. So see, I got off on a tangent. Whew. So we do have Reggie coming on. We have a couple of return guests are also coming, so I appreciate them so much. They are very welcome to return. They have a lot of new things happening in their lives as well. There are also a couple of projects that I have completed too that you are welcome to listen to. I do a podcast drama called Forever in a Day, and you can find that on your podcast streaming networks as well. And also, I have been a part of another podcast series called Heritage. I play Marcia, and also Everyday Women. These are all podcasts that are dramas, and they are located on all your streaming platforms. So do take a listen to those as well. And what else do I have going on? Oh my gosh, there's been so many things. I think when I talked about um, the Black and Brown community and maintaining a sense of healthcare equity within the Black and Brown community, this particular instance is the reason why I brings this up for the young lady who lived in the Midwest who was brought up on charges for miscarriage. Seriously, yes, she was a woman of color, and if you guys have not heard the story, I believe her first name is Brittany. Um, I just want to give you the right name uh, so that I can, really talk about what's happening. And anyone who knows, having a miscarriage is definitely something that you don't take lightly, right? And maybe, yes, maybe she might have been using the incorrect verbiage for that state because having an abortion is illegal in the state of Ohio. Um, and so that could be it, because honestly, if the fetus is not viable, yes, the next step is to have a miscarriage, is to have an abortion. But yes, if she was in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and she was going to be brought up on charges. Her name is Brittany Watts. I knew it was Brittany. And she lived in Ohio. And after the passing of her fetus, they wanted to bring her up on charges. And I thought that was horrible. That woman is going through so much, and she will continue. Okay. She will continue to go through so much. And I just want to take a moment and one, she was brave, because it's not easy. I've given birth to two children, and it's not easy. I couldn't think of any way that I could it would still affect me if I had a miscarriage with one of my children. And so it's just those things that it will sit with her forever. She will definitely, I would definitely encourage her and anyone else who has had a miscarriage to actually to go out and get counseling and therapy, because there will be triggers in life that will bring that trauma back up. It is a traumatic event. And for a woman to have a traumatic event and be brought up on charges, I what the hell? From a healthcare perspective, what the hell? I just feel like uh, every movie, every screenplay that I have seen related to us as a Black individual being treated as inhuman, as cattle, as property, and as less than, that just brought it back to the 21st century again. We're doing this again. No. So, yeah, I don't want to. It's late, and I don't want to dive like into such hard stuff before you guys are having your cup of coffee at bedtime and eating dinner and things like that. But I just want you guys to think about that for a moment. And our infant mortality in the Black and Brown community is nothing to laugh at, to sneeze at, to it's high, and it's for this country. There should be no reason why we have infant mortality rate like that. But then our healthcare system is not the greatest either, right? It isn't. And I work in the healthcare system, and I try to fight it every day. When patients come in and I see they need stuff, and the insurance is denying them, this one is denying them. We got to go through 50 yards of paper just to fill out the prior auth, and so it's just so many things. But it's just that really hit my heart when I saw that and I heard that, and I'm so glad that she did not get charged for that. And but it just still saddens me that that actually was a thing. Somebody, and I'm not going to just say somebody of non-color pushed that through and said, we're going to make her, we're going to set precedence with her. That was wrong. You guys had to know that was wrong. And that's why I said knowing better does not automatically assume that you do better, because those people knew better. But because she was a woman of color, it was okay. We can do that. And you guys can say I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, and it very well can. We all have our opinions. It's like, I get it. And some days I can be very opinionated. I understand and I accept that, but I'm going to say that was absolutely wrong. And I stand by that as a woman of color, as a woman with children, as a woman with daughters. I'm going to say that was wrong. And I stand by that. Okay. So now that I know I hate ending on a sad note, so I have to change it. I'm sorry. I just can't end my segment on something so sad. Um, but I pray for her. I pray for her family, and I know that she is going to be one of those activists that's going to be out there speaking on the injustice that all was, and it continues to be to women, because it is an injustice, right? So yes. So with that, I just want to um, share a few more things. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for following. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in. Thank you. Just thank you. I appreciate you. Um, I noticed that a lot of you have been going on the YouTube. I know. I'm just so I'm learning tech savvy. I'm getting there. I mean, I'm proud of me. I have like this. I almost call it a subwoofer. It's not a subwoofer. It's a Wi-Fi extender. I got those. Thank you, DJ Balo, for suggesting that. But I got one of those, and so yes, I'm learning different things, and actively creating a platform that is sustained through the time, and is a presence for us and our community, and is a presence for all of us to have a safe space to be our authentic self. And I want to continue to do that and bring that out there. So definitely, for anyone who has show suggestions, topic suggestions, if you even want to come on, please like, subscribe, and be a part of the conversation. um, I know they said there's people who have negative things to say. There's going to be people who are going to say something negative about anything. Me, by the very breath of being the person that I am, is something negative to somebody. So it's okay. It's all right. But we are a positive, safe space. And I want to continue to provide that positive, safe space and its true authenticity. So definitely, if you have something you want to, even if it's a piece of art, oh my gosh, I've seen so many people and their artwork, and I'm like, oh, I want that. Oh, can you paint? Can you? I love art. And so and that's, I think that's one of the reasons why I really want my own space, so I'm like I can put all my artwork up and have all these things. But yes, so if you are an artist, and definitely I would love to showcase you as well. So please reach out to me at the website. You can send me an email, you can go on the website, log on, you can send me a message on YouTube, you can send me a message through the podcast, no matter how you stream, just send me a message. I definitely will answer you. And also would love to showcase you and your artwork, either on the page, or even coming on the show talking about your artwork and talking about you. We have an artist, Mola Flow, that's coming on also this month, who is a gentleman that is here in Tucson, who just through music and in art shared his journey in affirming his identity as man. So I look forward to sharing that as well and having that conversation with him. And also, a couple of other people in the community, Jermaine Shoulders, Tiffany Lattimore, we got a stylist, Brandon Hunt, coming. So we got some people coming. So stay tuned. And I look forward to hearing from all of you, some of you, one of you, somebody. I look forward to it. Okay. I check my emails and my website with bated breath as you guys send questions, and I appreciate you. And I also want to thank those who have reached out. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it warms my heart to have the feedback and have the engaging conversation. So please, let's keep it going. All right. So with that, I want to say, I don't want to keep you any longer. That's what I want to say. So with that, I wanted to also share that you can and will hear earlier episodes air as well on the show. So definitely stay tuned and listen. You might catch something you've heard or you missed, or you want to catch it again. Definitely stay tuned. You can also catch the later episodes, the earlier episodes on YouTube, as well as your platforms, podcast streaming platforms that are out there as well. They're still there, hanging there, waiting for you to grab on. So with that, now I can say it. So with that, I am going to let you guys all go. So I would love for you to continue to take care of yourselves and each other, and definitely reach out if you have any questions. And if you have not tried Divine Nubian Essentials, please do. Just give us a try. I mean, you can either like it or not. I mean, you've tried worse, I'm sure. So why not try the best? I know, I'm a little biased. With that, I say thank you again to all my listeners. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. Thank you to the WUBI Ubiquity Radio family. I appreciate you immensely. And I would love for you guys to continue to listen and share, please. Even if it's not your cup of tea, it's someone's cup of tea. So just a simple share goes a long way. So please do share any information, anything, the podcast, the series, whatever. Just share. The more we get it out there, the more information we can use to educate the community and continue to strive to be better humans towards each other. So with that, I say take care of yourself, take care of each other. Make sure you're practicing self-care, because self-care is never selfish. And I look forward to hearing from you, and let's see what we got going on. Namaste.